This is gonna look crazy on camera, like my hand's just flopping around.
Videos of cats doing biscuits.
Yeah. This is the equivalent of cats doing biscuits, me doing printmaking. Hi, my name is Shannon Anderson, and I'm an instructor here at the Montclair Art Museum. I teach mostly children's classes in studio art, and so today I'm going to be doing a demo of how to create a drawstring bag. This is inspired by the Native American exhibit that's currently on view, and there is a beautiful bandolier bag on display with a floral pattern on it. So to start, I'm going to have a piece of cardboard and just this craft foam. What we're going to do is you could draw on paper first if you wanted to, but I know what my design, what I want it to look like, so I'm just going to draw it on the foam. Anywhere that I press down with my pencil is going to have an indent and have a little line that shows up. So I decided that I wanted to draw a little flower, kind of like daisy-ish. I've been doing a lot of ceramics. I've made a couple of things wheel throwing, and I've also definitely done a couple of paintings. I like to change it up a lot, so I don't like to do one thing for very long. So now that I drew my image, again, anywhere where I pressed in with my pencil is going to kind of leave that line there. I can feel it with my finger. So then I'm going to cut it out and put it on my cardboard. And this cut's really easy because it's craft foam. You could usually get it at the dollar store. All right, then I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this and glue it down to my piece of cardboard. First, I'd want to let the glue dry a bit before I go to print. All right, so then I would just let this dry. Oh my goodness, movie magic, it's dry. Of course, I've used this one before because it's covered in pink, but now that I have my print plate and it's dry and ready to go, I can continue on and start printing on my fabric. I have a piece of kind of unbleached, unprimed canvas here, and this was just like recycled from an old project. So then I'm just going to take my ink. I have a brayer and just a styrofoam tray, and I'm going to roll it onto my print plate. You could do it with a paintbrush if you didn't have a brayer. But with the younger students, I usually like to use the brayer because it can be a new experience. Then just carefully rolling it onto my pretty little flower. I'm trying to not get it as much on the cardboard just in case so it doesn't transfer. Clearly I was not successful at that my first go around because it's covered in pink. Okay. Now I'm going to stamp it on my fabric. You could stamp these however you wanted in whatever orientation. I'm saying that this little fold is where the bottom of my bag's going to be. So I'm going to make all the ones on this side go this way and all the ones on that side go that way. Normally I would just let the kids pick out how they wanted to stamp it. And then I'm just pressing with my hands on the back of it. Usually we have to talk about giving your flower or whatever we're printing a massage, not punching it. Normally everybody wants to punch it. But punching is not going to help, right? So just pressing, giving it a nice little massage, and then I'm going to just peel it up and lift up. Now that one I didn't have quite enough ink. Sometimes the first one comes out funky. Personally, I don't usually mind if it doesn't come out perfect because I feel like the print, when you can see that it's a stamp, is kind of more interesting because then you can look at it and know how it's made. rather than looking like something that's a stencil or maybe like painted on. And then I'm just gonna repeat that process until I've covered my bag with pretty flowers. The reason I think that I really do like printmaking, one, for a younger age group, it's a little bit different of an experience. They may have only done stuff like drawing and painting, so the process is usually pretty new. But also that like we can try multiple times and end up with something good, right? My first flower was like, didn't fully come out, and then my second one came out really good. So I like that there's this kind of like, you can try again aspect of it, and kind of like try again until we get one that we really like. All right, now I'm gonna let this dry. And now it's dry. So now I have my fully dried, printed on fabric. And now I gotta start to put together my bag. So where my fold is here, I'm just going to fold it in half, except I'm going to fold it with the pretty side on the inside. We're going to cut a little square or rectangle out of corners here. Doesn't have to be perfect. We want them to be kind of close in size. There are definitely patterns you could follow, and I probably, if I was teaching younger students, would give them a pattern to trace. So then you could use whatever kind of thread you want. You can match it to your fabric or pick something else. I found this pink fabric. Found this pink thread, and it matched the color of the ink I picked, so I decided to do that. And so all I'm going to do is just stitch, just a straight stitch across the bottom side of my fold here. I tried to teach a group of students to whip stitch once, and they all just ended up doing straight stitches because they know that that's what fabric looks like. No, my thread. Insert that like, burp, please stand by sounds. Scratch that. If you're going to do this project, pick thicker thread, not the thread that's pretty. I really like teaching fiber arts in my studio art classes and in any of my museum classes in general, because it's usually new. And so when doing something like this, most students, unless they have a parent or a grandparent or a neighbor or somebody that they know who knows how to sew, they usually wouldn't have done something like this before. And I like to be able to introduce that, but also to be able to kind of say, this is what we're doing, and it's gonna be the first time you're doing it, so if it's not perfect, that's entirely fine. I would say absolutely my perception of color changes as an artist. I have always been kind of someone who really likes color and enjoys colorful things. But I think the way that colors are used together definitely changes, because I feel like I notice like your traditional color harmonies a lot. So, you know, watching a movie and all of a sudden the lighting is now blue and orange, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know what they're doing. Say, wait, I know those tricks that they are pulling. And then the same thing on the other side. Except I think we're gonna play pretend. Thought to myself, I shouldn't have put this string in here, so I could pretend to string this one. Okay. I'm gonna flip it inside out so I can pretend to flip it right side out. So to put this through, there's a bunch of different ways you could do it. This, I think, will fit inside my really big plastic needle. So I'm going to slide it onto there and slide the plastic needle through the top loop. But you could use, if you hook a safety pin to the ends, that would also work. There's a lot of different tricks out there, but pretty much what I'm going to do is just kind of slide it and then feel my way through and kind of just bunch it up and pull the extra. You can do all sorts of fun colors and things. All right, then once I have both ends all the way through, I'm just gonna tie off the two ends in a knot so that it stays all together and my thread doesn't come out. I'm gonna pull kind of tight so that way it's nice and sturdy. And then we have a cool little drawstring bag. And that's my project. Yay! We did it!